Kind hellos, and thank you very much for joining me again, everybody. I am happy to be back with you again this week, and thank you so much for joining me. Today, we have a very important topic, and there is a particular reason why I'm sitting in this space right now and where my beautiful mom's picture that's on a blanket that I treasure is joining me in the background. This month, February, is American Heart Association's Heart Health Month, and so we're all familiar with it with the red, and I know that's the case here. I believe it spread to other part of the world, and it is Heart Health Month. But anyway, it was Valentine's Day. It's Heart Month, and so I want to talk about this really important topic this week, and it is heart health, and especially heart health as it applies to women. But a lot of what I'm going to be saying applies to both gender. And so we're going to get really serious really quick in this conversation because, as you all may know or may not know, my mom passed away on June 11, 2024, from heart disease. And it is, as they say, the silent killer. My sisters and I were aware that she was beginning to have some symptoms that looked like heart disease. However, by the time we could convince her to get to some cardiovascular help, she passed before then. And so our plan was to help get her into a cardiologist on that visit that she was on her way here to see her primary care doctor, and she never made it. And so it's really important that I get this information out. I'm really passionate about it. I have a strong family history of heart disease on both sides of my family, and so this is a passionate topic for me. So please excuse me if I get emotional or if I sound really pushy in this conversation. I am pushy about it, and I'm glad that there's Heart Health Month to make us aware. One of the statistics that I want to make you aware of is that when it comes to women's health, we don't talk about heart disease enough, and we need to bring this conversation to the forefront. We talk about breast cancers, we talk about menopause is hot topic right now, you know that, but I want to tell you that heart disease kills more women than all the cancers combined. And so I don't have those exact numbers for you, but I will tell you that that is a statistic that is true. And so it is something that we should be talking about every day in our families, and most importantly, for ourselves. Women, of course, we all know that the symptoms for women are quieter than they are for men. And so many cases it gets ignored, which is why it's such a killer for us. Symptoms present really differently. I will talk with you from the case of my mother. One of the things was shortness of breath, with activity, and this only happened towards the end, but one of the things that we had started to notice was that she had started to snore, and so that was something, and have pauses in sleep, like she would snore and stop, and so that's another symptom. Watch for that. Another thing is that we tend to present with sometimes kind of vague pains, right? Back pain, arm pain, not the crushing chest pain like men do. And so don't wait for these symptoms. My plan in this video, and my encouragement to you, is that you don't wait for these symptoms, that we are taking care of our heart health the way we are taking care of pap smears, the way we are taking care of every other health, that we are our prostate health, every other important health, because without the heart, this whole body doesn't function. So one of the things I want to make you aware of is that know what your blood pressure is. Like, even without in this country, I'm recording from the US, we are heavily dependent on health insurance, but I am totally aware that many people have no health insurance. And so those people who are not covered medically, or those of us who live in my beloved country, Belize, with no health insurance, it is even more important that we are aware and that we are doing the things we need to do to keep our heart healthy. that so know what your blood pressure is. You know by genetics already what your family history is. Whether or not you have a family history of cardiovascular disease, make it a priority. The lifestyle changes, we know that. And oh, another thing, when it comes to your blood pressure, if you have a history of hypertension, if you have a history of high blood pressure, I want you to be aware, because I hear this all the time. Blood pressure medication is not an as needed medication, and I know that people in my country especially, we do it a lot. It is not meant to be taken when your blood pressure is high. It is meant to be taken to keep your blood pressure from going high. By the time your blood pressure is high, your heart has already worked too hard. And when our heart works hard, that muscle gets big, it gets tired, because it is only a muscle, and anything that works hard stretches, it gets big, it gets tired, and so it makes you more at risk for heart disease. That's what happened to my beautiful mom. Her heart just got big and tired, and one day it just stopped. And so I want to tell you, don't wait. The blood pressure medication is not an as needed medication. You take it to keep your blood pressure normal. Along with that, help yourself with lifestyle. Lifestyle is really important when it comes to heart health. So if you know that you already have a strong family history of blood pressure, you are already on some high blood pressure medications, and even to prevent it, learn how to eat a low salt, low sodium diet. Having sodium retains water in our body, and that makes our heart works even harder. Another thing we're trying to prevent. So keep a low sodium, low salt diet. I promise you that you learn to enjoy foods that are low salt if you practice it. The food, you taste more of the flavors of the food, and you really, really do enjoy it. Fortunately for us in our family, with both my parents having high blood pressure really early, and most of us starting very early with high blood pressure, we had learned very early to eat with very little salt or no salt at all. And so my mom would put a lot of herbs in our food to make it taste good. And I never had a meal that didn't taste good. And we've learned how to eat and cook that way. The other thing is plaque buildup, right? Fat building up in those organs, in the heart organs. So learn how to eat a low fat diet. And then other things that contribute, smoking. It is a big no. It really does contribute to heart disease, and it makes it worse when you already have it. So do everything you can not to smoke, not to vape. And I know that my people who smoke marijuana will have some issues with this. It is still smoking. And so if you are doing it for other health benefits, cut down on the amount of times that you do, because it can be habit forming and you find yourself just smoking, and you don't even need it for other health benefits. The other thing is alcohol. It does make your heart work harder. And so if you are already at risk, and even if you're not, drink no alcohol at all, or drinking alcohol in a balanced way really does contribute to your health. But most of all, it does to your heart health. If you're already at risk, and talk to your doctor about this. And if you don't have a doctor and you are at risk, a low dose baby aspirin is helpful. It is an antiplatelet, it anti-clots, and so it does help with blood flow in the heart. However, I'm not encouraging you to do a low dose aspirin and do everything else wrong. It is in conjunction. And so sometimes, personally for me, I do it 3 times a week because it makes me bruise. I would recommend starting out that low, because sometimes if you take it every day, you bruise. And that has been shown to be helpful, unless you have other things that contraindicate that. So if you have bleeding issues, if you are an alcoholic with cirrhosis, if you're a person who drinks a lot of alcohol, not recommended, right? Too much work on your liver. Another thing, so blood pressure control. Now, if you have a family history of high cholesterol and heart disease, control your cholesterol levels early. Do not wait until those levels get higher before you start taking your cholesterol medications. I made that mistake. Not that it was a mistake, it was intentional. I just did not want to add another pill on. And so with family history, I had high cholesterol very early in life, even though I keep a very good lifestyle. um, and so when my doctor suggested to me many years ago, Deidre, your cholesterol is over 200 and you really should be taking something, I kept insisting that I would do it with my lifestyle. um, After mom died and I did a detailed cardiac workup, I found that I had already built up some plaque, build up in minor vessels in my heart. That's something that I'm working on now. But and I've started to take my cholesterol medications. So I encourage you, and I know that the research show I was just being hard-headed. Don't follow my example. Take care of cholesterol early. Start taking those cholesterol medications earlier if they really do work. And prevention is better than cure. Um, and so, what else do I want to tell you about heart disease? Women and heart disease. We are more at risk, especially in pregnancy, postmenopausally. Heart disease tends to be worsened during those times. So be aware of those things. And most of all, what I want to tell you, exercise. I missed that. I'm sorry I'm jumping all over, but I really wanted to I don't have any notes. I'm just talking to you from what I know and what I remember. Exercise. Even if you're not a person who likes to do heavy lifting, you're not a gym person, you've heard me say over and over, even when it came to menopause, walk, walk, walk. If you don't like being outside and walking, I do encourage you because it's good for your mental health too. Dance. Any kind of movement that brings you joy, just move, just move. It is good for your heart. And so with that, I want to wrap up. I want to encourage you, keep your heart healthy. I want to encourage you in the name of my beautiful mom who rests in peace. Make your heart health the top, behind your mental health, a top priority for your health. Know about it, protect it, take care of your heart. Your heart is the engine for your body, and without it, we don't have anything. And with a sick heart, even if we are not gone with a sick heart, life just does not feel the same, right? So when your heart is healthy, you are healthy. Make heart health a priority. Thank you so much for joining me again.